Welcome to Vocab Wednesdays, and woo! Yeah, it's always woo on Vocab Wednesdays, but that's not what today's theme is about. These are words from the new GRE guide, specifically the verbal guide, specifically the sentence equivalence and text completion questions. And the words aren't that GRE looking, and that's not a bad thing. It's because the words I'm featuring on Vocab Wednesday are words that don't look like your typical GRE words, such as woo. And the reason for that is so many words in that book are words that have been featured in Vocab Wednesday. So if you learn Vocab Wednesday, you'll be so prepared for the vocab on the GRE. But of course I didn't get every word. So let's start with woo. Woo. When you woo someone, traditionally that means you court someone. You follow. If I'm a man, at one time I'm married, so I wooed my wife. I wanted her to marry me. Now obviously the GRE doesn't care about that context. They care more in the abstract sense of entities, like one company is wooing the other, and the bid to buy that company. Or you could say, one nation was wooing the dictator when he came to visit. So it's more the context like, hey, let's get friendly. I want to really charm you so that you're my friend. That's the sense of woo. Okay, next word. Impetus. The impetus is the driving force. It's the reason that gets you up in the morning for doing something. So what is your impetus in taking the GRE? Well, that question can differ depending on who you are, obviously. So what do you want to study? What is really driving you? Perhaps you really want to change your field or make some contributions, or maybe you just want to make lots of money. We all have different motivations or driving forces or impetuses, but usually we just see it as a singular, impetus. So, again, the driving force or motivation behind something. Now the next word. I thought I had this at one point. I never actually did. It's a good word. And I want you to think of those cards, those birthday cards with the really cute looking old people who are hugging and one is smelling a flower, looking up at the other one, and maybe there's a little puppy dog rolling around, and it's just so overly sweet. Life is fleeting, enjoy every moment. So that's what cloying means. It's not just sentimental, but it's sentimental to the point that you become nauseated. Now, I can think of some music, and usually I don't make fun of music because I'll offend someone's taste, but I think I'm on safe footing with Celine Dion. Just because it's Celine Dion, really. I mean, she's in Vegas, that says it all. Point is, if you hear her music, my heart will go on. I mean, okay, I can't sing as well as her. But the point is the lyrics are terrible, and the way she warbles and just really pulls every bit of emotion from each of those really hackneyed, terrible words. Well, that, my friend, is cloying. Celine Dion. Finally. Wow, it's actually really hot in Berkeley today. Hidebound has nothing to do with me perspiring. Hidebound is when you are very fixated on an idea. You don't want to give up a certain way of doing something. No, this is how we've always done it. I'm going to do it this way. I'm hidebound. So many thought the GRE was hidebound for a long time. It was always really the same test. These reading comprehension passages followed by these antonyms and these analogies, all these big vocab words. And it was like that for many decades. And then all of a sudden, the GRE, ETS turned out not to be so hidebound, not so beholden or holding on to tradition. They said, we're going to totally change this test. And in 2011, they did just that, which is the test you guys are taking now. So again, hidebound. A weird mnemonic, you're hiding and you're bound, and I don't really see a mnemonic coming from here. So just try to remember it unless you're really creative. And again, it means holding on to tradition and not wanting to go with the new. Speaking of new, bunch of new words next week. See you then.